Welcome, and today I will be talking about something really important, which is sharing your gifts as a means to connection, connecting with other people. And the mistakes people usually do, and women especially. So there is this thing that I've noticed in many of my clients, this kind of emptiness that draws them to seek this path of development and seek certain answers. Sometimes this is what brings them to seek me out. Because on the surface, there is this image of having this life together, keeping things together, but there is this emptiness inside of them, and there is something missing. And oftentimes when we go deeper, there is this lack of connection to people. And maybe you resonate with this. Maybe there is this sense that you are feeling different than others. Maybe because of the gifts or your sensitivity or your intelligence or the impact you want to bring to this world, you feel different and you feel like you don't really fit in. And maybe you have never really felt like you fitted in and belonged, and maybe you did a lot to try to fit in. So if any of these things I shared now resonate, you will find a lot of relief through listening into what I have to say today. As many of my messages, I want to bring you closer to yourself. So this episode will go deeper into understanding of the blind spots that you have not been seeing. So what is that part of you that wants to connect with others through your gifts? What is that part of you that is seeking connection? What is that part of you that feels disconnected and maybe lonely at times, maybe misunderstood? Well, this part of you is the longing for acceptance. The part of you is longing for connection. It may sound like too simplistic, but we really have to make some distinctions here before I get into the meat of the subject. And the problem with that sense of disconnection is that we start seeing connection through the wrong places and through the avenues that keep us in that sense of disconnection in a perpetual way. So many women that come to work with me, they seek connection through sharing their gifts. They are healers, there are creatives, there are coaches. Many of them, they were nurses and doctors actually. Some of them, they worked in emergency rooms, in different kind of business settings that wanted to bring impact. So there is always this sense of pursuing the purpose, which is evident. But the problem is, what I've noticed, it is always kind of through the lens of needing a sense of validation from the outside. Bear with me. It's already getting deeper, because this is not something that, if you resonate with any of what I've been saying, your ego doesn't want to hear what I have to say right now. So many of women that come to work with me, and that was also my own experience in the past, we venture on this path of sharing our gifts and living the life of purpose, but we still do it through the old ways, which means we create a certain assumption based on the old paradigms that we lived, that we still cannot present ourselves as our full truth, as our authentic self, because we would get rejected. So what we share with others, it is barely a limited image of who you really are, because you just can't bear to be completely rejected right in the beginning. And this is again a self-protection that we do, but I just really want to throw it out there that this is something we are often starting our life on purpose with. The fact that you are trying to live your purpose, maybe sharing your gifts or trying to align to a more intentional life, but still feeling empty, still feeling disconnected, is a clue for you that there is a large discrepancy in living out your truth really, rather than thinking that you are living out your truth. And there is a few tells that you can really observe that are happening when you are living inauthentically and that you are still seeking validation from the outside rather than owning your gifts. And before I get into the meat of this episode, before I give you the ideas how you can become connected and share your gifts, I'm going to give you those tells so that you can tell if this is something you're doing. So first, an important thing is you are trying to impress others. You might be trying to present yourself in a way that, based on your assumptions, would be more accepted. So I'll give you an example from my past as an artist. I thought I aligned to a purpose life, a life of purpose as an artist, and doing art as I wanted to, and really that was my path to connect with people through my art. But I made some assumptions that were carried through my previous stage of not living that purpose, not thinking that I was living that purpose. And I made an assumption about how the world operates, how others operate, how I exist in the world. And this assumption was that I could not just simply be who I was. I had to fit myself into an image I wanted to present. So people, they create a persona that is like, I'm this kind of person that is cool. I'm this kind of person that is so spiritual. Or I'm this kind of person that is so talented, that is so visionary, that is so this and that. And wanting others to be impressed by this. And maybe you are even trying to impress a specific group or a specific person, and you are making yourself be accepted by putting in effort. So this is the second tell that you can distinct, by adding extra effort in proving your worth. You will know that you're doing this if you are trying to do something differently from who you really are. You're really trying to force on some sort of image or branding on yourself and package yourself in that digestible way that you think would sell well. Okay? And this is so common. I'm not judging you for doing this at all. This was my stage of life, and this is what is being taught really from all different channels, that this is what you should do. And from not having access of knowing that you can be just yourself and still be completely happy. Actually, this is when you will be completely happy and safe. You are still fueling that idea that you will only be safe if you are not completely yourself. So this is kind of a compromise. You package yourself into a censored version of yourself that is kind of somewhere midway between what you are really deeply inside of you or what you want to express, and between what you assume others would accept, tolerate, or be impressed on. So this effort and this proving your worth or proving your value or proving your coolness, proving your smarts, whatever you are trying to project, is a compromise, is a censored version of yourself. The sole reason that you are feeling disconnected whilst trying to share your gifts is another tell. Because if you were fully tapped in, tuned in to your gifts and your authentic expression, you would be connecting with people without needing to be validated, without needing to be understood. You would be just simply showing up, not needing anyone to approve of you. This is the creation of life on your terms. And this is possible. It may sound very impossible at this point if you're listening to me, but trust me, this is where I'm living out from. And another tell of living inauthentically whilst trying to live a life of purpose is suffering an imposter syndrome. When you suffer from imposter syndrome, when you kind of think that people may judge you, or they might find you out, or they might question your abilities, they might question your potential to achieve what you're saying you want to do, this is a real direct tell that you are judging yourself because you are seeing the misalignment from who you really are versus what you are presenting to others. And this is something that is so misunderstood. I think I will just commit a separate episode to an imposter syndrome on its own, because it's such a big subject. But this is a real direct tell that gives away the fact that you are misaligned. And this is pointing to why you are feeling disconnected. All these tells, all these things point to the fact that you are feeling insecure in sharing your gifts authentically. And this is something super common because we can't just fully transition from the part of our life when we were used to coping and surviving into living fully authentic. But you can get yourself closer there by learning what I've learned, and this is what I want to share with you. Well, the first thing is what happens when you are seeking the external validation, when you are feeling insecure, when you are seeking for others to be impressed by you. You are chasing windmills, basically. You will never feel connected through these attempts because you are getting farther and farther away from who you really are. So you, on one hand, you are creating this life of purpose and trying to get connected with maybe your mission or the impact you're trying to create, or just simply live life on your terms. But on the other hand, you're doing this in the way that is incongruent with the vision that you want to create. So it's like you have this inner conflict that is going on, and people are just a reflection. They're just mirror to how we show up for ourselves. If you don't believe that you can be accepted 100% for who you truly are, even if it's just for a handful of people on this planet, then this is what you're going to project through your behaviors. And this is exactly what you're going to feel and receive from others. That's how everything works. It's not magic, it's just an unconscious way of approaching our lives through the beliefs, through the behaviors, through the choices, through the projections, through the interactions with people showing up, and therefore we have direct feedback of what we receive. Now, if you are seeking external validation, that means you are not putting yourself in the center of your life. The insecurity and invalidation of your ideas, the real, true ideas, the real vision, the whole shebang, all the stuff that you are compromising, all the stuff that you are censoring, and you're trying to put in a nice little box with a ribbon on top of it. But you are way, way bigger than this. And by trying to squish yourself into this nicely presentable form, you are not only doing this service to yourself, but you are doing this service to all the people that could actually see your true gift if you decided to share it. Now, the journey to doing that would be that you have to place yourself in the center of your life. If you are seeking external validation, then it means you have a habit of putting others' opinions first. You have a habit of invalidating your thoughts, your decisions, your choices, your assumptions, your goals, and ways you would want the world to be like. And you give the power to other people. So if you have that habit, then you need to place yourself in the center of your life, which means you create the rules in your life. And this happens when you say what is right and what is wrong. Of course, you need to have some sort of filter that, tells you that you're doing something to hurt others, and this is not what I'm proposing here. But you need to give credit to your gifts, to your opinions, and to your thoughts as your best cheerleader, as someone who decides this is something worthwhile of pursuing. You are not waiting for others to approve of you. You are simply shining your light fully, so much and so consistently that over time people will find you, those that need to hear your message, rather than you trying to fit yourself into what you assume some people might want to hear. Okay, this is really an important distinction to make. You simply need to validate really your core true message, thoughts, or your goals, or the dream that you want to live, so much that you are willing to be the only person and everyone saying you're wrong, but you're still willing to give that self to you. This is how you validate your vision. This is how you validate your gifts. If you have any sort of habit or pattern of invalidating yourself and putting others' opinions first, needing reassurance, needing approval, then it means you have a history of being not accepted. And we form these patterns in childhood. I speak about this all the time, where we have to sacrifice our true sides in order to survive. And over the period of time, this is our journey to unraveling the beauty of your real humanity, of really owning your gifts, of really owning your beauty without needing to censor yourself anymore. So if you are willing to take that challenge, maybe today will be the day when you decide to really align to who you really are and stop needing others to approve of you. The time when you start validating yourself, the time when you start putting that stamp of approval and you reassure yourself in your vision, in your message, in your ideas, this is when you start feeling connected to others, because you don't need anything from them anymore. You stop being at mercy of people saying, oh, maybe I like this. Or maybe they say, I kind of like this, but if you were doing this in such way, then I would like you more, right? This is pointless. Life is too short to be trying to fit yourself into something that you're not, because it will not give you the rewards that you are seeking. And I already recorded like so many videos on YouTube talking about seeking external approval, seeking validation, but I really want to emphasize this here, that this is source of emptiness. It's like this void that you can never fill up from the outside. You can only fill yourself up from within. And this is what I teach all of my clients. I take them through this passage of changing the perspective, of putting yourself right in the center of your life. And this is something you can start doing right now by taking the choices that are aligned with your vision, where we decide that I'm doing life for myself. I'm doing this business, or I'm doing this passion, or I'm taking this project on for myself, not to be praised by others, not to have people say, yeah, you're doing a good job. We should not care about this, because it's not going to fuel you at all. This is something that just leaves you feeling disconnected. And I'm sure this is now what you can realize. I really encourage you, you look into your life and find a moment where on paper you would have achieved some success, but you were still not feeling it, that you were feeling empty, that you were feeling like, yeah, I should be proud, I should be happy, but yeah, I'm just not getting it. I'm just not getting that sense of fulfillment from it. And this is the time that is really key moment to remember that disconnect from really shining your full light. Because at this time, whatever success you achieved, it was not on your terms. It was not you doing exactly what you wanted and how you wanted. There has been some level of compromise if you have been doing this up until this point. And whenever there is this inner conflict, you will be always kind of scanning outside and comparing yourself who you should be more like in order to be more accepted, because you think, oh my God, this person is so admired, everyone loves her, maybe I should be more like her, maybe I should do more what she does, right? Maybe I should make my website more like that person, maybe I should make my coaching program more like that, or maybe I should project my art and my creativity more as this person is doing, so that I have all that admiration, I get all this praise, and I get all this fulfillment and amazing feelings. But you won't get it from that. You can only do yourself 100%, and you fulfill yourself from within, and then wait for the right people to find you. Or you shine your light so much and so often and so consistently that the right people will find you. And that doesn't have to be in the public way like I do. It can be amongst, your close circle of relations. That, for example, these people right now, those friends, this family is not really approving of what you do, and you feel kind of shy of making yourself more of who you're meant to be because you are afraid of being rejected. But the more you become who you really meant to be, the more you align and fuel who you really are. Yes, the people that are not supposed to be in your life, they will just fall away. They will stop listening. But other friends will show up. And you can also seek them out by, getting into those circles, getting into those communities that already appreciate the views that you have. So it's kind of a twofold process. First, you want to really be self-assured in the message, in the vision that you have. And second, that you can create these opportunities for yourself to have these people find you, to share what you really value, to speak the vision of the world that you want to see, to say what you want to create in this world, and then really create the opportunities. Don't wait for people to approve of you and then give you the conditions upon which you can tap into whatever they're doing. You need to create your own opportunities on your terms. And this is what really brought me closer and closer to living the life I live right now, which is great, which is like I say what I mean to say. I don't try to make it sound like someone else. I don't try to make myself look like someone else. And I don't care how many people will listen to this, because I know that my message is reflecting the vision of the world I want to see. And those who want to see the world exactly how I want to see will resonate with that. And these are the only people I care about. I don't care about people who disagree with me. There will always be 99.9 people who will disagree with you, especially if you want to create impact, especially if you want to create something new, especially if you have a vision. Just look at all the amazing inventors from the past, all the thought leaders, all the people who created change in this world. Do you think they were looking out for validation? Do you think, like Einstein, was insecure in his theories? Do you think he was just sitting at home and just waiting for people to say, like, yeah, you're doing a good job? He was not doing that. He was just saying what he had to say, and he was willing to have everyone disagree with him. The same with all other people who brought in amazing, transformational, world and paradigm shifting ideas to this world where everyone was disagreeing with them, right? And they were not waiting for people to say, you are doing a good job, yeah, keep on doing that, this is what we like. They were fearless in sharing what they had to share because it was so strong of a voice. And you need to create that strength by validating yourself. And only then you will feel connected, because you are connected with yourself. You are that most important person who can validate you. You are that most important person that can add the fuel to your fire. You don't need anyone else. And from inside, from that sense of overflowing energy, you get to connect with others. And because my new tradition is to pull out a pearl of wisdom or an insight or a takeaway from each episode, this takeaway I have to present to you right now from this episode is going to be that a wise woman knows that to connect with others, to feel connected through her gifts, first she needs to connect with herself and own her truth. So hopefully this will resound, hopefully this will bring some sort of insight into how you've been leading your life on purpose. I'm not saying I have all the wisdom in this world at all, by no means, but I did mess up a lot, like I always say, and enough to squeeze every crisis, every failing, every painful moment in time from my life, to the extent to squeeze every bit of insight, every bit of wisdom from all these little catastrophes in my life. My whole purpose through doing this work, through showing up, is to share a new vision of reality in this changing world. And we women have the ability to really embrace our feminine spirit in order to drive and lead that change, but we have to do it from inside out. And this changing world right now, where all the patriarchal structures are collapsing, is really a great opportunity to start creating on purpose, to start making that change, to live aligned choices. So feel free to share this episode or any other episode I share with one of your girlfriends, so we can all create that movement where we can add to that collective change and share any of the wisdoms you have with me through whatever channel is convenient for you. And make sure to download my free choice guide to take you through that progress of aligned changing, because at the core of every change there are aligned choices that you can take at any moment of your life, because as a conscious woman, this is what you have to be doing all the time. Keep questioning the old ways of doing things so you can become more of who you're meant to be. And if you want to work with me on one-on-one basis, feel free to reach out to me. All the links are in the description of this episode. And I'm really thrilled to be doing this work. I'm really happy to be sharing this information on this channel. I hope you had some use of this episode. I hope you had some new insights coming up of this, and I hope you will just come along to the next episode I will share next week. Thank you for listening, and talk to you soon.